Mexico is a country with a rich and diverse architectural history. From the ancient ruins of the Aztecs to the colonial buildings of the Spanish conquest, and the modern structures of today, Mexico's architecture reflects the country's unique cultural heritage. We'll explore the history of architecture in Mexico and discover the influences, styles, and techniques that have shaped the country's built environment. The history of architecture in Mexico begins with the ancient civilizations that inhabited the land thousands of years ago. The most well-known of these civilizations is the Aztecs, who built towering pyramids and impressive temples dedicated to their gods. The Aztecs were skilled architects and engineers, and their structures were not only grand and impressive, but also functional, serving as both religious and administrative centers. The pyramids were made of stone and built on a stepped platform, and were designed to be the center of religious ceremonies and rituals. The temples were decorated with intricate carvings and sculptures, and were designed to honor the gods and house the priests. The Aztecs were not the only ancient civilization in Mexico to leave a lasting architectural legacy. The Maya, who inhabited the Yucatan Peninsula, also left behind impressive structures, including pyramids, temples, and palaces. The Mayan architecture was characterized by the use of limestone and the intricate carvings and sculptures that adorned the buildings. The Maya were known for their advanced astronomical knowledge, and this is reflected in their architecture. For example, the Temple of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza is designed so that during the spring and autumn equinoxes, the sun casts a shadow in the shape of a serpent that snakes down the steps of the temple. In the 16th century, the Spanish arrived in Mexico, bringing with them their own architectural styles and techniques. The Spanish were determined to assert their control over the land and its people. And one of the ways they did this was by building imposing churches, monasteries, and other religious structures throughout the country. One of the most notable examples of Spanish colonial architecture in Mexico is the city of Puebla, where the Spanish built grand Baroque-style churches and convents, including the Cathedral of Puebla and the Convent of San Francisco. The Baroque style was characterized by the use of elaborate ornamentation and the dramatic use of light and shadow. The Spanish also brought the Renaissance style to Mexico, as seen in the Palacio de los Condes de Heras in Mexico City. The Renaissance style was characterized by its emphasis on classical symmetry and proportion, and its use of columns, arches, and domes. In the 19th century, Mexico gained independence from Spain, and the country's architecture began to reflect its newfound identity. National Palace in Mexico City, for example, was built in the neoclassical style, which drew inspiration from the classical architecture of ancient Greece and Rome. The neoclassical style emphasized simplicity and symmetry, and was often used for government buildings and other public structures. In the early 20th century, Mexico became a hub of artistic and cultural activity, and the country's architecture reflected this new energy and creativity. Architects such as Luis Barragán and Teodoro González de León, for example, began to experiment with new forms and materials, and to incorporate elements of Mexican folk art and culture into their designs. The Casa Estudio Diego Rivera y Frida Kahlo, for example, is an iconic example of Mexican modernist architecture, with its use of bright colors and bold geometric shapes. Today, Mexico's architecture continues to evolve, with new skyscrapers and other modern structures being built alongside historic buildings and monuments. The Torre Reforma, for example, is one of the tallest buildings in Mexico, and represents the country's commitment to innovation and progress. From the ancient pyramids of the Aztecs to the modern skyscrapers of today, the history of architecture in Mexico is a story of cultural exchange, experimentation, and progress. This rich and diverse architectural heritage continues to shape the country and its cities, and is a testament to Mexico's unique cultural identity. The history of architecture in Mexico is a rich and diverse tapestry, woven from the threads of ancient civilizations, colonial conquest, artistic movements, and modern innovation. Whether it's the towering pyramids of the Aztecs, the ornate Baroque churches of the Spanish, the vibrant modernist buildings of the 20th century, or the sleek skyscrapers of today, Mexico's architecture reflects the country's unique cultural heritage and identity. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of architecture in Mexico. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great content. Until next time, goodbye.